Hello and welcome to a new episode of Airport Update here from Philadelphia International Airport. The airport is, just as most of the industry, still in crisis mode, and that means that terminals A and C remain closed, at least for passenger traffic. But it is not all doom and gloom here at the airport, as cargo is still a flourishing business for the airport. Terminal A remains a sad sight here at the airport. As mentioned, the terminal is still closed for passenger traffic, and therefore there isn't much going on. There are a few aircraft parked in front of it, although not nearly as many as used to be. The few remaining here are held in short-term storage, while the rest has been shipped out for long-term storage. And so the only movement we find here at the terminal can be overlooked from the airport hotel over at the terminal extension, where we have this Hercules HC-130 of the US Coast Guard currently taking on some form of cargo. The exact reason for the visit is not known. The aircraft arrived just about 4:45 early in the morning, and where the aircraft will be heading to next is also unknown. However, it is very unlikely that it is something super secretive, otherwise the aircraft would not be turned around in such an open location. And since we mentioned the airport hotel, that remains a sad sight here at the airport as it continues to be closed, although a few activities have been spotted over there suggesting that the hotel might be preparing for an opening soon again. Just as in the previous weeks, the little passenger traffic that is left at the airport is being bundled at Terminal B, that obviously used to be exclusive for American Airlines and its oneworld partners. Now it's open for all airlines, regardless what airline it might be or airline alliance affiliation it might have. And so we find a 737-700 of Southwest Airlines that arrived yesterday evening just before midnight from Phoenix, and now is being prepared for its first flight of the day going out to Orlando. It still has plenty of time, but is starting to take first cargo. Arriving right now and just seconds away from pulling into the ramp is this Airbus A319 of American Airlines, which has just arrived from Pittsburgh and will now be staying here for about an hour and 20 minutes before it will be heading out to Austin. The next aircraft we have here is a 737-900ER of Alaska Airlines in this very beautiful merger livery with Virgin America. The aircraft arrived yesterday evening from Seattle, has stayed here overnight, and is now being prepared for its next flight back out to Seattle. The aircraft is almost ready to go. Pushback truck is already there. Very last cargo is currently being loaded. Another aircraft just arriving here at the airport this morning is this Embraer ERJ-175 of American Eagle that has just come in from New Haven. It will now remain here at the airport for quite some time before it then will start preparations for its next flight going out to Richmond. And now let us head over to the other side of Terminal B, where the international stands have been converted into temporary cargo stands. Pulling into the ramp right now here is this Airbus A330-200F of DHL. The aircraft has come in from Bern in Switzerland, where Bern International Airport gave it a great send-off before its flight over the big pond that you can see on Bern International Airport's Instagram page right now. You can find the link to that in the description below. The aircraft will now remain here for a couple of hours before it then will be heading over to Germany, or more specifically Cologne, Bonn. Arrived from Cologne Bonn has this 767-300F of UPS. The aircraft came in yesterday evening just a few minutes before midnight. has now stayed overnight, is right now taking on cargo for its next flight, which will be bringing the aircraft to Paris in France. As mentioned, also Terminal C remains closed for the time being for passengers, but the stands in front of it have been converted into temporary stands for cargo operations, and so we find a Boeing 777-200F of Emirates Sky Cargo. The aircraft did a first stint from Dubai to Barcelona, where it took on more cargo. From there, it then continued on its journey to Philadelphia Airport, where it arrived 26 minutes past midnight. It is right now being loaded for its next flight, which will bring the aircraft back to Europe, more specifically to Luxembourg. Another late night arrival was this Airbus A330-200F of Turkish Cargo. This aircraft arrived, however, a bit later than the Emirates. It came in at 10 minutes to 4 in the morning from Lisbon. Now has still a bit of time here at the airport, so it's only the first loading operations that have started before it will be heading over to Africa, more specifically to Dakar. An aircraft that has been pushed out of its ramp is this Aerologic Boeing 777-200F that is flying on the Frankfurt rotation. The airline is a joint venture between DHL and Lufthansa Cargo, which explains why it will be heading to Frankfurt next. And it won't be the only aircraft flying on that route today. The aircraft is almost done with its pushback procedure, from where it then will be heading over to the runway. Now with that, let's head out to our remote stands and see the last few aircraft here at our airport today. Now these sad little regional jets of American Eagle have been here at the airport for quite some time. They are technically still in temporary storage, although one could argue that this has turned into long-term storage, and it remains unknown when or if these aircraft will return into active service. On a bit more positive note, this Airbus A330-200F is still very much in active service. The aircraft from Avianca Cargo arrived about 30 minutes past 5 in the morning from Bogota. Right now it is quite busy over here with cargo operations going on, so the aircraft can leave on time, scheduled for a 15 minutes past 8 in the morning departure back out to Bogota. The last aircraft of the episode is an arrival just coming into the airport here today, and it is a Boeing 777-200F of Lufthansa Cargo. Since the beginning of the crisis, air freight between Germany and the US has suffered quite substantially, mainly because it's just been very difficult to find any free capacity on aircraft, and that is why Lufthansa, together with Aerologic, has stepped up and increased capacity on flights between Germany and the US. So while one aircraft leaves for Frankfurt, another one arrives. Now with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then do feel free to leave a like. That really does help us out. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.